Okay.
Live.
Hello there. Hi, Mary R. There's Mary T. Hello, Mary T. How you guys doing? We are going to have some fun today. We are going to do some special projects. We're going to do a little painting, all kinds of stuff. So, I'm going to start by showing you one card. Come on in on this, please, and then we'll go to my hands. Hopefully Thelma got her tablet issues resolved. This is a card that I did before using the crystal tints. And we are going to use that medium again today. I love the way the water, the ripple paper, I had holographic ripples behind it. I love the way it comes through in the water. I think that's fun. There's Catherine. So this is one of the mediums we're going to use today. There's two of them. We're also going to use a medium called Pearl Tints. And I played with these last night. I had some big wins and I had some big losses. But it was fun. I had a really good time. And I'm looking forward to sharing some of the techniques with you. And right now I'm looking for the card that I have going. There it is. Okay. Wrong side up. Okay. This is one that I have in process because you guys are earlier. You get to see it before the others do. We'll come back to this, but this is one that I have in process right now.
Hi to Adeline.
Hi, Adeline. Come in on this one, please. This is the Pearl Tints. Isn't that fun? Okay, so we'll come back to that one. Maybe make a card out of it. So I have a few things ready for us to work on.
Sharma.
Hi, Sharma. Did you say Sharma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, Sharma. It's what?
They're saying happy birthday to Kat.
Happy birthday, Kat. I am totally out of tune with where everybody's birthdays are. I'm sorry about that, but I do appreciate and love you. Okay, let's see my mat. My glass mat up here. I love my glass mat, guys. I love that cleanup is so easy with my mat. Okay. I had Bryce make me some embossed pages. This is one of them. You're going to ask me what folder this is, and I don't know. I don't even know who's by because it doesn't have a name on it. The fact that it's purple might mean that it was hot off the press, but I'm not sure. But we're going to start by playing with this. I have my Pearl Tints here. I'm just going to get them all out. All of these same colors of Pearl Tints are available. After playing with these, I wish I had bought more. I did not buy a lot of them. I think we have 5 of each in the store. So there are not a lot available. And they are really, really cool. I'm going to start with this embossed cardstock, and I'm going to go to the debossed side, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this and fill it in for the debossing. Whoops. Now this would work better, I think, with the 3D embossing folder, which of course I couldn't find this morning. But you can still get the concept of what we're doing. I am... Some of these hearts are embossed and some are debossed from this side too, which makes this interesting and challenging. Things I'm going to have to do, because they're not real deep, because it's not a 3D embossing folder, is just to not squeeze too hard on my tube, because I don't want much medium to come out. But you can see what's happening there is that the debossing creates a good template for lines for filling in with your pearl powders, which is kind of cool. There is a little shaker ball in here, and when you get it going, you're on the way to having it shook up. Let me try this one. I just used these last night. It sunk into the pearl again already. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Ooh. This could be fun. I'm pressing very gently because I don't want to get a glob out. I just want just enough to fill in my space.
Catherine asked if these were decal-edged cards.
No, but the piece of paper was decal-edged. Because it's one I had sitting here on my desk that I cut with a decal-edged trimmer. I go to use this, I'll probably trim that off. So we've got this one I'm going to use now is Wild Cherry. This one was Hardy Red. I guess it makes it a good one for this project. And this one was Heavenly Pink. And I also have another pink one that we'll use. Yeah, this would work much, much better. Oh, hello there. This would work much, much better with a 3D embossing folder. Got really spoiled using those. I love them. The 3D ones. I just love how deeply they emboss.
AR says, why trim it off? The decal is so lovely.
Okay, well, maybe we'll leave it on for you. Okay, but you can see, if I can, let me get one or two more hearts done here, and then I'll hold it up in the camera for you to see. The big heart. This one's called Chateau Rose.
It's very similar to the last.
Excuse me?
To the other pink one.
It is quite similar. But they are slightly different colors, especially when they dry. This one's more pink than the other one is, and the other one's a little more subdued color. You can mix these. In fact, maybe that's a good idea to try with this. Let's just put some here on my mat. Can you see that? I don't think so. Where is it in relation to you? There it is. I'm going to put some of this Hardy Red in this pink. I'm not going to put an awful lot of the darker color because it will be far more, it'll definitely show, the red will pick up, tint the lighter color. Oh, this isn't what I thought I had for a brush. Well, I think I need a different brush. In my...
The ones with the fine tips?
Yeah.
And they're cut behind your water.
Okay. Yeah. You can see why I'm reluctant to use this. It's got this really wide tip on it. It's not going to make putting this in the little spaces very easy. Love cleaning a water brush because all you got to do is run water through it. Oops. The red's going to stain my water brush, but I don't care about that. Okay. Yes. One of these is a much better choice, although that's got blue in it. This one's empty. That's the one I want. I had somebody return some of these recently because they wouldn't open. She was twisting them the wrong direction. If you wonder what I'm doing, I'm adding some water from my spritzer into my water brush. I don't want to run to the bathroom. Yeah, she was twisting them the wrong direction, so I don't know why she didn't try going the other way. As soon as they came in, I tried them and they were fine. But she was sure I'd sold her a defective product.
Catherine, I'm not sure. I think here wool is a type of yarn that we can use, but it's not the same.
Okay, I'm going kind of fast here, and this is not a deep embossing folder, so don't judge my painting, judge the product. But you can see that we are going to have a really nice pearlescent sheen to those hearts. I should have tried this the first time on a piece of scratch paper because it's got some kind of chunky material that was in the nozzle in the middle of that red heart. I don't know if I can pick it up or not. Maybe I can. Look at that. I could probably fix that given it enough time, but you get the concept anyway. Needs a little bit of soap on this one. I'm gonna run that in the sink for me. Just a spot of hand soap. cool water. So there's one thought, is you can fill in the backside of an embossing folder. Now, I tried last night running these through a stencil with very, very limited success because this medium is thinner than our stencil paste. And it came out under the stencil. See there? You know, everything looks kind of foggy because it came out under the stencil paste. So I thought what I might do today, just for fun, is to try it again. And this time I want to pick it up drier. So I'm going to pick it up on a brush. And I'm going to try to use it through the stencil on a brush so that it's a drier substance. I don't know how well it'll work, but as long as I got this stuff on my mat, I might just as well find out, huh? I think I might be able to take less medium and rub it around my stencil. Dry, yes. We have success, people. Here we go. That one little place where I got a little bit much, but doing on a whole sheet of this, that wouldn't show much. So that worked out well. You guys catching that? So you can use this medium with a stencil, but you want your stencil to be pretty dry. And then you can just kind of dry brush it. And that works really well. And I can pick up the rest of this that I had over here. Yeah, that works well. So what didn't work last night works really well today by just using my stencil and a brush that's picking up medium. Instead of dropping the medium onto the stencil, I'm just picking up the medium. So that's kind of fun. Baby wipes here and wipe off my table a little bit. So that's a fun one.
Catherine thinks you drew the hearts.
Oh, I didn't draw the hearts, Catherine. I did not draw the hearts. All I did was fill it in on the back of a stencil. I'm curious. We've already done one of these embossings. So what I'm curious about now is what would happen if I took my brush that has had some of that medium on it and I just rub over. I don't have enough on there. What would happen? Hi, Truth. Today we're using Cosmic Shimmer Pearl Tints. Right now I'm mixing colors, those pearl tints, and we're doing an experiment to see what would happen if I know I can take this brush and apply this to the raised butterflies. I know that because I do that kind of stuff all the time. But what I was curious about is if I don't have a lot of medium on the brush, can I brush it over the top and just kind of get the tops of the folder? I don't know that, because we try a lot of things here on live online that I haven't tried before. I don't know if I'm brave or foolhardy. Probably foolhardy, but that's okay. We learn together, don't we? Oh, that's beautiful, though. Just brushed onto this embossing folder. Isn't that pretty? That's the Pearl Tints. I'm going to try this again, but not much. I don't want a whole lot of ink on my... I'm just going to see if I can brush it over the top a little bit without necessarily getting all the in-betweens. I don't know what will happen. Nope. I'm probably pressing too hard. I gotta go really light-handed. Really light-handed. Yeah, if I go really light-handed, I'm having some success. You can see on the first one I was too heavy-handed. But if I go really light-handed, I can get just the tops of the butterflies pretty well. And I had a lot of ink on it that time, and it did the same thing. What I might do is just cover this folder now that I've kind of ruined it, and see if I can create a pretty background. No sense wasting it if I can salvage it, right? A little bit more out here. I didn't make quite enough to cover the top of my folder. I didn't really know for sure what I was going to do. Catherine thinks I need goggles, gloves, lab coat.
That's true. That was Truth.
Oh, was it Truth that said that? Oh, yes. You sure were. Sorry about that. That's funny. Yeah, we'll probably end up with a slightly different color here, because when you're mixing colors, you most likely would like to have enough mix to do the entire project. That's how we would do it if we were doing it outside of my experiment. This is pretty, though. The one butterfly I painted is a little bit darker. I'm not sure I dislike that. I think that's actually kind of cool.
Gives it dimension.
Yeah. One thing about these pearls directly on paper, it's fine, but they do buckle your paper just a little. So one of the things we did with Jamie powders probably would have been helpful with this, and that is that I could have, maybe should have, add just a little bit more and kind of see if I can tone this color out a little bit. And just kind of could have and should have spritzed it on the back if I'm going to put quite a bit of. Is Thelma here now? No. Nope. It should probably watch later. Hello, Thelma, when you watch later. Spritzing the paper on the back can be a good way of keeping your paper from buckling.
Got that bounce darker.
It is a little darker. That's okay too. I do like the effect of the all over look on the embossing folder. If you work it too much on the plain paper, it will also pill the paper a little bit, so you got to be careful not to overwork it. This is going to be really pretty. Just cutting this along the lines of the embossing folder to see what it looks like when we take it off of here.
Catherine says, very elegant.
It's pretty, isn't it? So even though I wasn't able to...
a waterproof cardstock or regular cardstock?
It's regular cardstock. A regular stamping card. There we go. There we go. That's going to be a beautiful backer. Isn't that pretty? So we have two thoughts on how to use this medium now. We have many, many more. 3 thoughts, actually, because we stenciled with it with a brush. We added it all over. We painted with it. And we filled in the bubbles on the back of our cardstock. So we have a few techniques going there. Let's see what we want to do next. I think next we will get out a piece of acetate. Let me clean up my ink tray. I drew those hearts as far as she's concerned. Well, thank you for the compliment then, my friend. I think that pink is beautiful. What do we think of that, Catherine? We think it's beautiful. Still had stuff on my board from the last time I used it. The beautiful thing about my glass board is that it cleans up so easily. I love that about it. Okay, I'm going to get out a piece of acetate. Oh, I tried something I don't recommend. I tried putting this stuff on vellum. No. Maybe you could do it with vellum if you use the brush. I don't know, I guess we could find that out. Maybe we could use it on the vellum if we used the brush, but it, yeah, it's not, vellum is not happy about, here's Lauren just came in. Hello, Lauren. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
She's making me crab cakes tomorrow. I'm so excited. I've been so excited all week. I've been telling everybody my daughter's making me crab cakes, and she makes such good crab cakes. Yeah, the vellum doesn't like moisture, and it was a little too moist for the vellum. I'm going to put my die cutting, which I squished in my box. I'm quite unhappy about that. I'm going to see if I can salvage it. I'm going to put my die cutting right onto my sticky specs sheet. I'll try it. I have a little foreigner here at my sheet. Get rid of that. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm just going to put this right down. Yeah, right down to my sticky specs. And hopefully I will be able to get any creases out of it.
Catherine wants to know, when are you going to sing it?
I did sing it. Beautiful. I sang it for you. My daughter loves to hear me sing, don't you, daughter?
It's Mother's Day weekend for sure.
She says since it's Mother's Day weekend, she for sure likes to hear me sing. That was very diplomatic of you, daughter.
Happy moments.
Lauren has a tendency to get 2 cards for her dad and I when it's different occasions. she will get a naughty card and a nice card. I have to admit, I always laugh a lot at the naughty ones. That's like I'm hearing her true voice come out. And I see the naughty cards. I think I'm going to make some more of that deep pink. I'm liking that color. You can tell I'm liking that color because I keep making it. I'm going to have to make a bit of that because we're going to paint. I could go, just so you know, I could go straight onto my stencil with this. I've got it, I use sticky specs to put it down, and I put it right onto my stencil. Now, the reason I use sticky specs, two reasons really. I did it with my sample card also, and the reason that I did that is that the ink was trying to go under the paper. So by using the sticky specs, I stick it down better. And the other reason I did that is because I put this in a box to move it over here from the table I was working at last night. And when I did that, I crushed it. But you can see it's coming back to life nicely here. And so I'm going to be able to salvage my die cutting work, my paper. I actually don't care if this is mixed up real well. I kind of think it would be neat to have some variation in the color. So I'm not mixing it real well. I will find most likely, especially putting it on with this water brush where it's getting a little extra water, I will find that I probably will want to put on 2 coats. I don't have to, and especially if I want it to look like glass. Stained glass, as you guys probably know, will have a kind of mottled look to it. And there's places it's almost clear. So that could be really good for this, but we'll see what we want to do when we get there. This is die cut. I'm using a hunky-dory die cut called the Lily Pond. Beautiful. Let me show you what I've got. Uh-oh, I stuck my canvas right into my... That wasn't cool. Right into my paint. That's why they make baby wipes for cleaning up messes like mine. Because that seems to be a talent of mine to create messes where I go. Margie would definitely agree with that if she was here. Okay, but I wanted to show you our painting so far. So let's go in. That's the problem with having this be clear. You know what I think I'll do to avoid reoccurrences of that? I think I'll cut my canvas down a bit here and just use a smaller piece so I know where it is. That would be good. So I'm just going to quickly go through and pick up some of this. Now, I might find that because I'm putting this on with a water brush that is thinning it enough to still go under my stencil. I have a solution for that. I will show you, which is actually a pretty cool idea. Very cool idea, actually. Some of you have seen this trick before and know what I'm going to do. But for those of you who have not seen it before, I'll give you an interesting new tip. So I am trying to get my petals to the water lily without getting the leaf.
Catherine says, thanks for the beautiful song.
I'm here for you, Catherine. I'm here for you. I told you what Lauren says. We're riding around in the car and I'm singing and she will say, Mom, who sings this song? And I'll tell her if I know, or if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. And she'll say, let's let them sing it. Let's just let them sing it. My children are so ornery to me. Actually, my children are very good to me. Lauren came and stayed a week after I got out of the hospital. And even when I was in the hospital, she stayed here. I guess she must have been here 2 weeks. No, she stayed through the time I was in the hospital and then she left, right? But anyway, they were taking turns. I was really feeling insecure when I was in the hospital. I mean, I wanted my family around, you know? And so Jordan would come at 6 o'clock and stay with me until noonish. And then Bryce would come and stay with me till dinner. And Lauren would come and stay with me in the evenings till they closed visiting time. And it was really, really nice to have my family there. It was very reassuring to me. I'm not used to feeling vulnerable, and I felt very vulnerable when I was at the hospital. So it was great to have my family hanging out with me. And even if I was sleeping, which I did a lot of, I just wanted to know they were there. Just terribly selfish because they're sitting there with nothing to do but listen to a TV that doesn't sound very loud to them or play on their phones. But it made me feel good that they were there. I needed them.
Be careful. Catherine will adopt Lauren for crab cakes.
Oh my gosh, she makes the best crab cakes. I don't know if you guys have ever had Dungeness crab. We are very spoiled in this part of the country to have Dungeness. And if you've ever once had Dungeness, it kind of spoils you for most other crabs. I know there's different people in different parts of the country that say theirs is the best. But I gotta say, I think our Dungeness just hands down beats everything. Okay, there's my flowers. Aren't they pretty? I like that darker color. You'll see what I mean by the darker color when I show you this sample that's dry. I'm going to clean the pink out of my brush, although I'm not going to clean it all up yet because I may decide I want to go in and have another coat. I'm going to pick up my yellow. There, you can hear that ball rattling around in there. I really need that to get the pearl to mix up nicely. And I'm going to go in with my water brush now.
Mary R. says Gemma is sick and should probably be taking her to the vet soon.
Doggone it. These puppies. Teddy's been dealing with allergies again. And we're trying him on a new food allergy, dog food. You know, the expensive stuff. Yeah, that's the one. But the tough part is that his veterinarian says he can't have any snacks of any kind while we're no PB Nanas, no pepperonis, no snacks while we're testing him to see what kinds of allergies or whether we're seeing whether this dog food will resolve the allergy problem. Do you know you do know how hard that is for us, because we spoil this dog a little bit. I know that might be shocking to you that we spoil this dog a little bit, but we do. And it's so hard when we eat something that he doesn't get a bite of whatever we're eating. And he sits on the corner of your chair and waits because he knows his turn's coming, and his turn doesn't come. That's terrible. It makes me feel like a bad mother, a bad pet mom. Okay, here's my yellow in the center of my flowers. I can see that my red is fading quite a bit in some of those panels. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a little more, because I want a vibrant color, a fairly vibrant color. So I'm going to add a little bit more while my paint's still wet here. This paint dries fast. So I'm going to come in and add a little more. Be to use vinyl like you use in your Cricut machine. I bet it would work well to do this process with vinyl that you can stick down to your acetate. And I think that would really probably prevent leaking under our stencil, our die cut that we're using as a stencil here.
Truth asks, why is it fading?
Because it's drying. And it's a stained glass sort of medium that...
Catherine's off to find some mischief.
I'll bet you find it. If you don't find it, create some. And I'm sure you will. Yeah. As it fades, well, there's two reasons it's fading, really. One is that it's just kind of the nature of the medium to dry lighter than it is when you put it on. The other reason is that I'm putting it on with a water brush, and so I'm putting water in there, and that is thinning the paint down. So there we go. All right, now we're going to put some green in. I have a beautiful green. This green is called, what's it called? Racing green. You can hear that little bottle or that little ball moving in there now. So I'm getting it mixed good. Put a little of that on my mat. I'm going to fill in these leaves with my green. The lily pads. And water lilies. I probably won't take the time to do all of the background with you guys watching. I just wanted to get enough of it on here to show you where we were going and demonstrate some of the colors for you. It could have been pink, that part I just painted green. Probably should have been. Won't hurt. You notice that I'm not worrying too much about whether or not I have any medium that goes under because of the trick I'm going to show you. I do have a little bit slopped out of its line. I'm going to take my wet wipe. And then while it's still wet, clean that out. Just put it, my wet wipe to a point and get right in there. And that's a pretty green with this. I think that's beautiful. Of course, you guys know I love that olivey green kind of color. I resisted the temptation to paint the water lilies purple. I've never seen a purple water lily, although it would be wonderful. I'm sure it would be wonderful.
Say goodbye to Sharma. Her son's here for Mother's Day.
Oh, you're heading out. Okay, Sharma. Happy Mother's Day. Okay. Now, here's what I have from the back side, and it's looking pretty good. This is what it looks like from the front side. Not so good. But, because what I've been painting on is the back of my project. But, I have a solution for that. I'm going to get one that's dry here, so I'm not putting my fingers in it. I'm going to set this one aside. Now, this stuff dries pretty fast. This one that we did, we used quite a bit of medium on it, completely dry. The ones that I was filling in the hearts still looks pretty tacky. The one that I did with the stencil looks good. So I'm going to reach in here and grab this. This is the one I painted last night. And that's pretty. It's pretty. I was using the bottle, so I didn't have quite as much slop over as I do with using a paintbrush on here. But from the back, once again, it kind of slid under the water lilies a bit. So here's my hint to you. Make 2 die cuts. And stack them up. So this is my nice dry one from last night. And then you get all of your solid lines back. Cool, huh? Only thing that might be more cool than that would be potentially giving it black lines. If I want it to be stained glass effect, black lines can be cool. And even though it was white where I painted it, if I line these up well enough, I will have black lines. Isn't that a neat trick? That is a neat trick. So let's get some sticky specks here. I'm going to put this down with sticky specks. Make sure I've got it the right side that I'm putting down in the specks so that it will line up. Otherwise, this is likely to end up being a front instead of a back. Rub that down into the sticky specks really well. And peel them back again. I could use my tweezers for this. I will end up having sticky specks all over my fingers from doing it this way, but that's okay. As I put it down, I need to make sure I'm exactly lined up where I want to be. And there we go. Now, I have a little bit of where my white's overcut just a little bit. That's not a problem. Because I'm going to go through with my scissors and I'm going to cut this out right along the black border. we might need to make another one of these, honey, for our other one. Looky here, come in close. Now, see, my frame is going to pick up the color of whatever I put this on. I didn't get it 100% lined up, but it's 99% lined up. It's pretty. Isn't that fun? So there's another trick and technique. You just work on the acetate and then put it on the other side. Jordan is not coming down this weekend. She had something she had to do, but she'll be down in the next week or so to see me. And then we're going to have a separate Mother's Day. So I'll have to come up with something that, if Lauren's making me crab cakes, certainly I need to come up with something Jordan's going to do, don't you think? So that will be good. I'm going to show you this one that I did before. This was with the another old hunky-dory stained glass die. This was this glass stain, the Crystal Tints. And what I've been working with here is the crystal, or excuse me, the pearl tints. So you can see the difference between the two mediums. Okay, I'm going to clean up my board here. Let's make sure before I wipe away my paint that I'm satisfied with my paint job. I'm going to add a little bit more red in just a couple fields here. Well, it's still wet. I think that's going to do it. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's clean up my brush. Yes, exactly true, Mary R. One is translucent and the other is pearlescent. This cleans up pretty well off my board. Even where it's drying, it's cleaning up off my board well. You have to have a non-porous surface, of course. If I did this on wood or something, I could probably stain it. Get a fresh wet wipe. Do you want to cut me another black water lily, honey, please? We'll probably have to run it through 3 or 4 times. I've noticed that with this particular dye in my machine, it's funny, when I was using my little gray machine last night, it was cutting on the first pass. And in my fancy machine, best cutter I've ever had, in my fancy machine, I'm having to cut it 3 or 4 times. Go figure. I don't know. I don't know why we get these things. Huh?
Black cardstock?
Yes. Oops. Hello. Make sure all the little pokies are out. I think they are. But all right. Now, the next thing we're going to do, I have that piece of acetate here that I cut off. Just a plain old piece of acetate. This is going to be interesting because I'm not going to be able to see where it is. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my experiment sheet here. I'm going to put it under there so I can see what I'm doing. And I think I will go ahead and tape this down just a bit so I can keep it in place. This next technique might remind you of the Jamie powders when we did those. Watch this happen. Yes, here comes the purple. It had to happen, guys. It had to happen at some point in time. Here comes the purple. And here is some aqua. This is teal, I guess. Teal. It would probably be a good idea to shim that again. Now, if I was wise, which I've never professed to be, if I was wise, I would probably put some gloves on at this point. But I won't. I will have my hands be pearlescent all day, because fingers were invented first. Put some dark blue, little bits here and here and here. And here we go. I am going to smear this with my fingers. My objective here is to keep my colors relatively true while covering my whole surface. You will see that on the acetate it bubbles up a little bit. That's okay. Ooh, this is pretty. This is going to be very pretty. I actually love those bubbles because those bubbles are going to, hi Diane, those bubbles are going to allow my, there, going into Mother's Day with blue fingers, are going to allow my embellishments to show. This is diamond sparkles. You don't have to use this particular kind of, you can use confetti, you can use chunky glitter, you can use all kinds of fun things. I'm using diamond sparkles from Hunky Dory. It's an older product. I don't think they sell it anymore, but it's what I had in my drawer when I went to look. And I'm going to take a piece of tissue paper now. And I'm going to lay my tissue paper over the top of my acetate. Cut myself a piece here. I'm going to wad up my tissue paper so any lines that were in it are not as obvious. Because what I want is a kind of random pattern in my background. So I'm going to wad up my tissue paper. And then I'm going to smooth it back out so it's all wrinkly. And now I'm going to put my tissue paper over the top of my acetate. It's going to come right through the tissue paper. I want that. I want to know that it's going to adhere really well. That's what's telling me it's going to adhere really well because it had to be fairly wet.
I think we missed a piece.
We missed a piece?
Well, it didn't cut it out.
What? Didn't, oh. Put your frame back on.
I don't have the frame. That's why I'm saying I don't think you gave me the frame.
I did give you the frame. That's how you cut that out.
No.
It's probably still on your...
I have this.
That is the frame. Oh,
There's
that's
another
fine.
piece that goes around it.
That's fine. I didn't use that one. Just line that back up.
Oh, well, that'll come out. It just needs to be
Okay.
weeded.
All right. Okay. So we have this. We're going to let that dry some. I have this all sitting on a piece of cardstock, but I will peel this back enough that you can see what we're going to get. See those diamond sparkles coming through that? That's what we're going to end up with when it's finished. See all the sparkles? Isn't that pretty? That's going to be beautiful. This is really pretty too. Don't want to put that back on there because I want it to be on a clean surface. So I'm just going to set that here. Now look at my hands. It's me, guys. It's what I do. Just got to get enough of this blue off. It's not coming off on everything I want to do. I think we should do another one of those because it's fun.
Messy.
It's very messy. That's what makes it fun. I do so love to make a mess. It makes me happy. Okay, so let's try again. I also brought over a little packet of stars. Let's make something that's kind of Christmassy. I know, it's May. We shouldn't be thinking about Christmas, but there's just some things you got to do, guys. I think about Christmas all year and how I can use my stuff. So, do I want to make a whole sheet? I don't think I do. I think I want to make a half sheet. Just going to cut this acetate in half. I'll put it on here. Let's use some different colors. Let's use some red. I have some white whisper, and let's use this one. It's I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of, this is glacial green. It's kind of a spearmint color. So I'm gonna do it again. Put some white down there with that. If you do this on cardstock without the acetate, what you'll end up with is a pattern that pretty much represents what you put down on the cardstock. You're not going to get the blending of colors and stuff, and you're not going to be as happy with the result. How do I know this? I did it. That's one of my ones that didn't turn out so well. I'm going to use a spearmint kind of color. Add that. Oh, and you know how you guys were complimenting me for keeping my sweater clean before? Well, this has now become a work shirt because I wore the same shirt today I wore last night because I already got it on my sleeves last night. So if I did it again today, it didn't have to be disappointing all over again. Taking my finger, picking up my color and just dragging it. This is probably the process in which I ruined my shirt. Didn't really ruin it though. You'll see it a lot when I'm working on messy projects. Okay. Red and white and green. Now, what I think this needs, since this is a Christmassy theme, what did I just do with it? I took it out. I had a packet of sparkles. This is confetti. Tiny, tiny little stars. We have all kinds of confetti from Nouveau in the store. So Shirley, you sure you can go in and see if you want anything that you can sprinkle into your designs? Yes, I used a lot. Now, my little stars back in their bag. get my piece of tissue paper out and ready here. I'm going to scrunch up my tissue paper. Just like that. Some nice little texture lines in it. I'm going to put it down over my red and white and spearmint colors, I'm calling them. Let that bond really well to my acetate.
No, it's not acetate.
It is acetate.
Where?
I have the acetate sitting on a piece of cardstock.
Okay.
I didn't get my red mixed quite as well as I wanted, but it's still going to be pretty. Just surprised it didn't mix more because it looked very mixed on the top. Will you set this on the table, please? Be careful because it's likely to get pearl all over you. Right underneath. There you go. Okay, is that cardstock on the other side? All right. Now, I want to do another one. Get another piece of acetate out here. This time, I'm going to pull my colors. So I'm going to use purple, maybe some silver. It's called silver lining. I'm going to use some, that green and that purple always look really good together. Maybe a little pink. Maybe two pink. Well, let's see. Maybe we'll go that way. I think I'll use the darker of the two pinks. I think I'm going to go with those. And this time, I'm going to put a spot of color at the top of my acetate. I don't know why I'm putting these caps back on. It's silly to put the caps back on because I'm going to use them over and over. Purple, silver, green, green, pink. Now, caution about this technique. You do not want to overwork it because you will end up with mud. So don't overwork your colors. We're just going to repeat my pattern. Oops, pink. Purple. Silver. Green. Pink. Purple. And I think I'll stop there. Where are my squeegees? There's one. I'm going to take a credit card or a squeegee or some kind of a tool. I'm going to pull my color. Now, you notice I went back over that. I had to do that because I had my squeegee at too much of an angle and it was picking up too much of the paint. I can put more on if I need to. I think I'll be okay as long as I work quickly here. Some more of those sprinkles on there. I love those sprinkles. They're fun. Sometimes it's hard to figure out projects for chunky glitter and stuff. This is a great chunky glitter project. Another piece of my tissue paper. By the way, I didn't have tissue paper when I was working out here last night, so I tried all kinds of things. And you know what you want to use? Tissue paper. Because nothing else worked quite right. It's got to be tissue paper. I'm going to squish my tissue paper up. And then I'm going to pull it out. Make sure your tissue paper is big enough for your project. I'm going to lay it out on my acetate. This one started to dry a little bit, so I might not get quite as good of adherence on this one as I did on the first one. I had a lot of ink too, but might not get quite as much adherence. But that's going to be beautiful. Love that. Here's another one for you, honey. Okay. I want to just use up some of this ink and see if I get anything useful out of it. Notice how the green and the purple have kind of taken over from the silver and the white and the, the silver and the pink. It's kind of taken over, hasn't it? Put a little bit of green here. Put a little bit of pink here. I'm just going to add a little bit more color to this and see if I can end up with a background I can use. I don't want to overwork it. If I overwork it, it's going to turn sludgy colored. I probably have enough for a 4x6 card out of that, or 4x4 at least. Clean up my mess here. This does ripple cardstock. I should have done this first, but I'm going to do it now. I'm going to spritz my cardstock a little bit on the back. Pass it off to Bryce. We'll put it on the table to dry for me. Let me show you a couple other things I did last night. I don't know if we're going to get to the stained glass effects today. I think we may just stop at the pearl tints and move to stained glass next week. Or I could say you'll get the same thing with the stained glass, just in a translucent effect, which I have a lot of other products to show you that we haven't played with yet. Yesterday, I also played with the new neon polishes. Those were fun. And with the chalk polish, which you haven't seen yet. They are in the store. Okay, let's see. What have I omitted doing for you? I think we're pretty good. Let me show you some of my other samples from last night that are dry. Now, maybe we'll do something with them. Now, I did not have tissue paper out here, So on this one, what's crunched up in the background is a paper towel. It worked out okay. I'm actually going to use it. I like the way my colors and my sparkles turned out, but it's not recommended over and above the tissue paper. The tissue paper works way better, but isn't that pretty? That's pretty, huh? Got yellows and reds, kind of some oranges where it blended. I like that. Here's one that's red and streaky and a lot like our one we just did. This one is, I have baby wipes on the back. I didn't have any tissue paper out here, so I was trying all kinds of things. It took forever and forever and forever to dry, but it did bond well. So a baby wipe did work. And I think it's pretty. Kind of overdid it a little bit with my sparkles on this one maybe, but you know, it's hard to say. Depends on what I put on it. It could be fabulous. This one, I tried to use cardstock on the back. I love the colors. In fact, you saw me redo the colors with tissue paper today, but the problem is it's still wet. I did it last night and it's still wet today. I don't know how long it'll take to dry. And my cardstock is very ripply in the back. So I don't know if it's going to end up being usable or not. It's pretty, but I don't know if it's going to end up being usable. I probably will find a way to use it. I may, if I don't come up with something else, I may just die cut from it because it is pretty. But these are some of the ones I did last night. And then I showed you the stencil I did last night. And we redid our stenciling today with a drier brush, and that was really good. That was a good technique. So I think we should check out this one we were painting, which should be dry by now. It is dry. This is the one we were doing today. And we do have a white we could use on it if we wanted to. I didn't put the back. Yeah, a heat tool probably would warp it. But the white looks pretty with this. Here's the black that Bryce just cut for us. Uh-oh. Tore that a little bit. Darn it. I might be able to fix it with the sticky specs. But all this work and then I tore it. Bryce went to all this work and then I tore it. But I bet you I can get that to lay back down with the sticky specs. Let's try that. I think I need a fresh sheet of sticky specs. That's the back of the book. No wonder I'm not finding one. Sticky specs are made in China, so they're going to be hard to get. But I ordered a bunch of sticky specs in with my last order, pre-tariffs. Now, some people have said, well, why can't you just buy from Great Britain or buy from somewhere else and buy the Chinese products? Because then you'll only pay the tariffs for the UK or Canada or wherever else I buy them. But the problem is that you pay the tariffs based on the source, where it's made. And that was kind of dumb. I should have cut this down a little before I put sticky specs on all of it. But sometimes you see me at my low points. I'm not brilliant. Yeah, you can really see the specs on the black. See there? You can really see where they're falling on the black cardstock. Now, whoops. I have that black, but I think we should go in and we should probably use some of that glacier blue in our background. I had my first tariff invoice this week, and I think it's a mistake. I do believe it's a mistake, but we'll find out. I've actually had over 2 hours of hold time waiting for UPS so far, and I haven't caught up with them yet. But I'm going to apply this directly to the stencil so you guys can see that, because we did the rest with the water brush, but I'm going to put this directly into the stencil. I got an invoice on an order from Hunky Dory. It was placed in early April. It cleared customs on April 29th, which should mean that it's subject to the de minimis rule. For those of you who don't know what that means that the order total is less than $800. And under the old standards for customs, if an order was under $800, you didn't have to pay customs fees on it. That changed as of May 2nd, which is important because that shipment cleared customs on the 29th of April. The invoice total was $695 US. So it should have still been under the de minimis rule. So hopefully I will get that tariff written off. The tariff total on this invoice, which again I hope to get written off, was $182 on a $695 invoice. The really shocking product in that was, I love those magnetic mats that they have that stand up straight when you're working. And when you're working with your die cuts or with your dies, you slap your dies on that while you're working so you don't inadvertently throw one away or anything like that. So that looked like a good tool to me, and it looked like something I should have. So I ordered 6 of those. And I'll tell you that they suggest, or the price of those in pounds, sterling pounds, was £3 33 pence. It's like their cents. And the suggested retail for those was $9.99. After the tariffs were added, there were 4 lines all related to that. When the tariffs were added, they added 4 lines related to that one item. It's the only magnetic item in my order. And they added 4 tariff lines. The first tariff was 125%. The second tariff was 20%. And that made sense to me because when the president put those tariffs in place, he put them in place with a 20% tariff, and then he added the 180 or 125 to that. So it made sense to me that there were 2 lines. Why couldn't you use one? I don't know. They used 2 lines, and that was fine because it added up to the 145%. But there were 2 more tariff lines they added that I don't understand. And the total tariff they charged me on this item was 180, I think it was 181% on that one item. So I'm curious about what they say about why 4 tariff lines, why I would have 4 separate tariff lines, and what that means. And like I said, I'm thinking and hoping that I can get them to write the entire thing off because it should have been under the de minimis rule. See how fast and easy that was, guys, to put those in there? So we'll see. I held for 2 hours already, and I didn't get through to anybody at UPS. UPS is acting on behalf of the federal government and charging the tariffs, so they're the ones I have to talk to say why so much and why at all. But I haven't gotten through to them yet. But there's my very first tariff experience with this stuff. I've paid tariffs before. When I do things like order the Craftaganza bundles and they ship them on a pallet, most of the time they will, that order is going to be way over $800. It's in the thousands normally. And so I pay tariffs on that. Our prior tariffs were in the area of 5 to 10%. Which was already painful when you're already paying shipping from UK on that stuff. But 145% is impossible. We won't be doing that. We won't be buying anything international for a while. Fortunately, however, I have really stocked up and I'm going to be better equipped than most with products from outside the US already. We probably, at least for a while, until we settle things with Canada at least, and Great Britain won't. And Great Britain, I know we have a tariff deal in the works, but they haven't done the fine work on that yet. So can you take these for me, honey? They haven't done the fine work for that yet. So you guys want this to be white or black on this one? What would you like on this one? I'll show you it from the back. You want it to be white or black on this one? I need a vote. White lines or black lines? Mary R says white lines. I'm looking for more votes. Any other votes out there? No more votes? Nobody cares? Black. Truth says black. Okay, so I have 1 vote for white, 1 vote for black. I can go ahead and take this one too, because I'll have it all de-sticky left to my own devices. Any other votes? I got 1 of each. Adeline says go with the black. Mary T says go with the black. Looks like black it is, based on the number of viewers we have right now. I think that is there we go. That is the, oh, Truth voted twice. Black one. Okay, so we will use black for that. I have a couple more white frames here that I'll probably need to do another one. Not now, but later. And this was also part of the package with the lily ponds. It says peace, and that nice stained glass look. So let's see. Let's take a look at a couple of things. Are any of the ones on the table dry?
What does dry mean?
How well can we see them? Okay, here's this is probably my favorite. I just tore the tissue paper. It's no big deal. This will get cut down to size. Okay, I can cut it now. Maybe we should put a card together since I have a couple minutes. Let's put a card together using these water lilies.
No, nothing nothing's dry.
Nothing's dry? Okay. Let's put a card together using the water lilies and some of our paste from last week. What did I do with the... Look how beautiful this is, guys. Doesn't that kind of remind you of our Jamie powders on the acetate? Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I should have enough here for 2 cards out of that. Let's see what's happening with this one. This one is drying, but it's taking a while because the paint is thick on these parts.
White frame over the top of that blue background.
Ooh. Bryce just suggested we put a white frame over the blue background and use that.
That's pretty.
That is pretty. Why did you use this? Which die cut did you use for this outline? This is the water lilies from Hunky Dory. I believe we still have it in the store. I'm not certain. I do have a couple other ones here I'll share with you that are also, let's see, what did I do with those? That are also part of the stained glass series from Hunky Dory. Our Hunky Dory is still regular price. Even our dies, which were made in China, are regular price for now. This one is called the Adorable Orchid. That's from Hunky Dory. Mary says, you have great taste. That's why you picked me. And Heavenly, I know, Hellebore panel. Enjoy today. I like that. And this one, which I think is, this is Snowdrops. I think these are also called Paperweights. Sweet Snowdrops panel. So there's some more stained glass ones that are available in the store, as well as the one that we just used, which was the, yeah, we can do this. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful because it's still a little bit wet, but we can use this. This would be fun. Let's do it. Let's put some sticky specks on our white. Onto our white frame. Since we're not going in from the other side, we're just putting the die cut over the top. We can. You know what else would be pretty with this? Gold or silver cut out of this would be beautiful. Yeah, it does look like the Jamie powders, doesn't it, Mary? Which explains why I love it. Okay, the sticky sticks out of the way and bring this paper back in. And go right into the corner with it. That's beautiful. Might work. Let's see. I'm going to cut this off now. Now, even though I don't have a full sheet, this would be really beautiful on a card to put this on half and then some other paper on the other half. This would be beautiful. This is still a little tacky. But that's okay. Not tacky as in not pretty, but tacky as in it really is sticky. right. That's beautiful. I'm curious. This might be entirely the wrong color. I'm looking to see what I've got that's a good color for this. I think gold might be a bit much. Let's see what else I have here. Oh. That could be nice. If I did this, though, I might want to take the outer frame down a little bit. This is what I'm looking at, guys. Actually, I think it loses something on that sparkle, though. I'm going to try one more sparkle here, and then I'm going to go to a white. What do you think of green in the background? I think the green's better than any of the sparkles are. Let's get those. No, I just think it loses the sparkles. As soon as you put it on glitter, it loses the sparkle. So, even though that purple is beautiful, I think we want a you guys saw what a mess I have with my cards right here right now. It's ivory. I think I want ivory. That's white. Yellow? I do have a yellow. Sitting here. Oh. I don't know for sure if I can pull this white one back from the brink with it. This is a good size. So I have this green, and I do like that. I have yellow here. I think I like the green better, huh? What do you think? I like the contrast more with the green, I think. The contrast with the white.
You have to double mat it.
Yeah.
Do yellow and then green and then the white, but
when I put that up against the yellow, you can see all of my cutting lines. You can't see it so much on the green either, which is good. Okay, let's cover this card with some cardstock. Somewhere I should have tape. Oh, not perfect, but it'll work. What do you guys think of this pearl medium? You think it's kind of fun? So many fun things you can do with it. Okay. This green cardstock down. Face our card by just cutting around it.
shimmery effect.
Yes. Especially when you put those little jewels or whatever in it, you know, all the confetti. It's beautiful. Okay, so, boy, that is a close one to get that on there. And would have been nicer maybe with a slightly larger card.
You could probably cut the wide white border off.
I could.
And then that might look
I could
better.
just go to this inner border. That actually might look better, huh?
Yep.
Because my card is so close to the size of my image. Just cutting the wide border off, leaving this inner border.
Adeline says lots of fun, really likes it.
Like I said, if you like these and you want some of them, they are on sale right now in the Cosmic Shimmer. They're called Pearl Tints. Yeah, that looks much better, Bryce. Good idea. They're called the Pearl Tints, and there's only 5 of each in the store. So if you want them, I won't be able to get them again for a while. But if you want them, get them now. A piece. I'm going to see if I can bring this back from the brink by putting the sticky specks on it. Yep, it's stuck down now. I'm going to adjust it. Nope. It does not want to be adjusted. Which is fine. How pretty is that, guys? Wow. That's beautiful. I want you to catch that glitter in the back, too. Shimmery. And we got all those little bits of chunky glitter in there. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me put some tape on here. I'll go ahead and stick that down and call this one done. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, what a good idea Bryce had. He has those sometimes. Any good ideas. Okay. There we go. All finished up with that one. Let's see what else we have sitting around here that we can take another second look at. Here's our black frame. Now this one might be a good one on yellow, Mary. How's that? That's pretty, huh? No? I think it's a little too washed out. The pink. I need a bigger card. Let's see if I can find me a bigger card here. Like a 6x6. Anything of that size in there. Okay. So we did that one. We did this one. This was the tints. I think we'll do the tints next week since we've been through. Oh, I can cut that one down. That's good. Since we've been through a lot with the others, we'll do the stained glass effect next week. Maybe I can find the stickers I wanted to use for that. I've lost them. And then we did this butterfly, which is beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's a made-up color, too. I love that. I did that. Huh?
Custom color.
Custom color. Yeah, Bryce says that's a custom color. Here's a couple more from last night. Let's go ahead and grab the ones off the table and see if we can show them. And then we'll call it good. Boy, I am liking that a lot. I don't know. This is awfully pretty just on white. What do you think? It's very pretty on white. The very subtle colors in it. But maybe there's another color. How about a... You can try colors with this and see if you can come up with a color.
This one is still very wet.
Okay.
I just got my thumb in it.
This one's still very wet. But you can see where we're going with it. Oops. But you got to put the stencil in the right direction. And see where we're going with that. That's beautiful. Happy Mother's Day, Mary R. We have this one. I like this. I think this is going to be pretty. It'll be fun. Like a snowman card or, I don't know, maybe a Rudolph kind of card. It's something whimsical. It's very wet, too. Bryce's hands are all covered with pearl. Now, I love this one. This one's beautiful. This one looks like a floral design on it. Where is that white one we did? Did we not do that white one? Didn't we do it? Oh, this was over the back of. Never mind. I don't. This was the. No. Didn't I have one that was done in white? I thought I did. I thought I had it here just a second ago. Well, there it is. But am I losing my mind or what? What about this? You like this, Bryce? I actually think I do like it. It's got the same green in the background. Let's cut that card down. You found a great big card. Maybe we want 3 edges to be decal. That'd be fun. Let the decal show. Let's try that. Let me make this into a 6x6. Okay. Slid that a little when I cut it. I can recut it. The only side it won't be decal is on the folded side, of course. All right. Let's put this onto our cardstock. I'm going to need to cut this down to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Probably would have been easier to do this with my scissors. Cut all the extra tissue off. In fact, I guarantee it would have been easier to do with my scissors. Okay. One thing you want to watch when you're putting your tissue on is make sure you have enough ink everywhere. I didn't have quite enough on this corner, so this corner isn't as usable. I could slap some paint in there and make it more usable in that corner, but I'm not going to do that in the interest of time right now. Probably will do it though. Okay, I want this to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And let my decal edge show a little bit of my card. Boy, that's pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. Then we're going to put this on here. Like?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, the glue doesn't work well with acetate. It actually needs tape, so I guess I'll tape this. Just remember, glue and acetate don't play well together. There should still be plenty of time for those of you who want to get the Pearl tints to get them, because there's so many Cosmic Shimmer products that people are deciding between that the fact that we only have 5 of each is probably fine. I never used them, so I didn't want to over order them and then find that it wasn't something that I liked. I should have known I would like them though. Oh, I like that. That's beautiful. A tiny piece of weeding that didn't come out. Need my detail scissors. That's better anyway. Okay. I love that. That's pretty. I'm going to put my tape down here where it won't show through the holes. While I'm doing this, if you haven't already done so, please hit the thumbs up. It makes me feel good, and it tells YouTube that the people who are watching our channel are enjoying our channel. When we sign off, which we'll be doing here in just a minute, I'd like for you to hit that refresh button in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. And that refresh button will bring up a comment box. I would love to hear what your favorite technique of the day was today. I love to read those comments and respond to most of them individually. How pretty is that? Okay, here's our finished cards from today, guys. using some of our techniques. Love that. That's great fun. And if you're not already a subscriber to our channel, hit that subscribe button, because you never know what we're going to be up to. And it's all fun. So I think we'll go ahead and sign off for today. I'll be back on Wednesday for What's New Wednesday. That will be at 4 p.m. Pacific time, which will be 7 p.m. for our Eastern friends. And we'll look at all kinds of new and interesting things. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and say good night, Gracie. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Bye.